The three-thirds format is a tool that has been extremely effective for evangelism and discipleship and church formation and leader development in multiple contexts around the world that has at the heart of a number of movements, including in North America. And there's three sections. We'll look back, we'll look up, and then we'll look ahead. And each section has a number of parts. The first part is a time of care. We care about one another, want to know how each other's doing, what's a highlight from the week, and sometimes this is done over a meal, but we want to have a time of caring for each other, followed up by a time of worship. Now with a new disciple, that might just simply mean praying and thanking God for the things that week that were good. In a church gathering or church start, have a time of musical worship, and this is where we do the Lord's Supper and giving and prayer for each other. And then transition into a time of loving accountability. And the type of accountability we're looking for is specifically tied to obedience to Jesus from the goals that we set from the previous week. And it does need to be a loving, we care for people. And so we want to lovingly hold them accountable to the goals they set, relying on the Holy Spirit for obedience to Jesus. So this is a very caring time, but also can be a time of celebration as we hear what God is doing in the harvest, or a time of shepherding of people might be struggling to obey Jesus, so we can press in and love on them to help them take those steps of obedience. And lastly, we have a time of vision. In our command set, we specifically will use a vision for Healthy Church, or some use the Great Commission, or different vision casting vignettes. But it's important to have, if you've got a vision, it needs to be built in here so it will pass downstream. And then the look up portion is we want to hear from God, and the best way to do that is to hear from His Word. So we're going to have a new lesson from the Word. If you're doing the commands, this is the time to do the commands or the long-term discipleship. But typically it's discovery based. Often if you're training a tool, it's a time to include a tool there. And then we have a time of practice to make sure that the story or the lesson or the tool that was trained, that people will be able to leave and know how to do it with competence and confidence. So we want to have that time of practice. Do not skip the practice. And then now we're going to look ahead, where we'll set some goals. And I know different teams use different goal sets, but we really want to make sure that we're setting a goal based on the lesson. How are you going to obey Jesus? And who are you going to share it with so that it gets passed on? And then lastly, we'll close the time in a time of commissioning, of prayer, just asking for the Holy Spirit's power to obey Him and the goals that we've set, and lifting up people on the Oikos map. But like I said, this discipleship format of the three-thirds is at the heart of what we're doing in the area of discipleship and church formation and leadership development. And cannot stress the importance. So don't mess with the parts. Keep them there. They're extremely important.